Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in this video we are going to do a full review of everything that's going on in the back of the canopy. It's been a minute, and I think it's high time that I take you guys through everything that I've done in the back of the rig, the full setup. So that is today's episode. We're going to go through a full canopy tour of everything that I've done to date in the back of the D-Max. So without further ado, let's get started. This video is sponsored by, well, me in this case. So if you're keen to support, head to VideoShowMeHow.com. Check out the range of products there. We've got spaces here for your cup holders to help you not spill your coffee everywhere because they are ridiculously deep. We've got center console trays to help with a bit of organization there. We've got switch panels and bits and pieces there. So if you're looking for extra factory style switch locations, even rocker switches, we've got you covered there. And then there is basically every color known to man available in all of the different products that are there. We've got skinny trays, deep trays, rocker covers. We've got multiple configurations of the switches. We've got more and more 12-volt gear coming there and a few other things that you haven't seen just yet. So if you're keen to support, head to VideoShowMeHow.com. Check it out. But now, back to the video. Now, I will make sure that I link everything, or as much as I can anyway, in the video description down below of all the bits and bobs that I've used in sort of building this so far. But if there's anything I miss and you go, geez, where'd you get that? What is that? Oh, I need more detail. Just let me know in the comments down below and I'll update it with a link so you can go and check it out. Now, just to add a little bit of context before we go diving into all of the interior, the use case for this is kind of the do all. I use the D-Max for getting to work during the week and then having fun on the weekend, going on trips, day trips, week-long trips, Cape trips, and all of the above. So for me, I know a lot of this stuff is completely unnecessary, but you know, that's all part of the fun. So take all that with a grain of salt. I'm just going to take you through of where I've kind of got it to over the last year and a half, what I kind of use everything for, and what my kind of setup is. Now, first up is the canopy itself. I guess that's probably a good place to start. This is the trade cap steel canopy, and good news, there's already a couple of videos on the channel already about this guy. There's the full build of this. And then just recently, you can find the review of it because it has lived on the back of the D-Max for the last year and a half. We've given it a hell, we've taken it to the Cape, all of the above. So go check out that video if you're looking for some more detail on the canopy itself. So one of the good things that I like about this canopy is it's got this sort of mole pack sort of meshy stuff on the side. So I've done a bit on both doors. One, I have sort of the quick grab recovery type stuff. So we've got some, you know, the gloves, the handy dandy extender shovel, the hatchet with the, this is one of those Gerber ones that have the lighter and all the bits and pieces. These are those quick grab, I think they're called a something fist. I'll find that link in the description, but this is kind of like my quick go-to side that has all those bits and pieces that I can just quickly grab when I need it and, you know, get quick access to that sort of gear. And if we head around to the other side, not much going on the back door as far as that goes. And then on this side, I've just kind of landed with these guys. So these are those little mole pouches, and I just have basically my 12-volt wiring stuff in there. That's not going to close now one-handed. Perfect, there we go. And this one's more the heavier duty, Anderson plugs, all of that sort of gear, and then charging cables. You can never have enough of those and they always go missing. So that's kind of all of my bits and pieces there together. So they're kind of like my door storage, if you will. If we have a look at what else is on the doors, I've wired in some lights. So these guys, there's a light bar on either side. They're sort of waterproof and a couple of different colors, as well as being switchable, which is awesome. All of the 12-volt is covered by STORMOD, so we'll dive into that in just a second. When I want to use lights, I just hit the sides and then, oh, there we go, they're still on. You can then just switch to whether you want amber, whether you want both, or just white. So that's been really good, and that's all of my camp lighting. That's all I need. I don't really worry about any other lighting. That's more than enough when I'm at camp. Lights up everything really, really well. And then finally on this side, this is a relatively new one, is some dust suppression. So I found after I've sealed up the canopy with some seals around there, and particularly this one, if you've got a D-Max, you don't need any fancy seals, I find. This is straight from Bunnings. It's some D-seal. Running that along the bottom there just seals the bottom of the tub, and then another strip up the sides. That does perfect. And the easiest way you can tell, just a little top tip, is close the door and then get a partner or something like that with a torch from that side shining up, and you'll see exactly where the gaps are all the way along. All you want to do is get your rubber seal in to cover those gaps and you'll be laughing. But I wanted to get just another layer of dust suppression, and that's what this is here. So this is a vent on the inside there, allows air to come in, and then it also has, I don't know if you can see that, but underneath the blades there's an actual filter itself as well as a fan. So if I'm going somewhere that is super dusty, I just can switch it either on the phone with Bluetooth or via STORMOD. We just hit the fan button, and if we have a look here and I shut up for a second, you should be able to hear the fan going, and there it is. I won't put my finger in there. And that's sucking in air inside the canopy just to create a little bit of positive pressure, which pushes against all those seals to keep that dust out. So I found that to work really, really well. Now, if we dive on to the inside, the only other light going on is our interior light here. And that's this guy up here that just lights up the inside of the tub. That's handy when you are at camp. You can just get that extra bit of light, because I usually do my cooking just here on the tailgate. I guess the big elephant in the room is this monstrosity here. This is the STORMOD. Now you can get this. I've finally been working pretty hard behind the scenes to get this guy up and going. If you head to stormod.com.au, you'll see all the details for that. These are now available over at stormod.com.au. So if you're looking for a similar setup, this is modular storage. You can get multiple versions of this, whether you're getting a over arch where you're maximizing the space underneath there. These are storage bins that you can see access straight up like that, where you can store all of your camping gear. Has a full skeleton inside, so it is strong as anything. Those are now available. You can go and check them out at stormod.com.au. But we have the full setup there, plus some extra modules. You would have seen on the channel, we have 400 amp hours of ridiculous overkill storage, energy storage in the back there. We have our air compressor, a whole bunch of Victron gear that enables our servo screen here to work, which enables us to do all sorts of fun and games as far as alerts and overviews, and runs pumps and all sorts of stuff. We have our full 12 volt here with our switches, our 3000 watt inverter, even our water pump here that has a bit of a reader that when we turn that on, it'll read it and all that sort of stuff. So I won't go into too much detail there, because we've covered STORMOD before. Check out the channel if you want more detail, or of course, go to stormod.com.au to check that out in all its glory. But ultimately, STORMOD takes care of all of my sort of constant storage. Ever since I had my big Jeep that was a bit of a toy, having sort of the basics on board at all times was really important, and I wanted to have that, so I never forgot anything. So in here I keep all of my camping gear, my little cooker and little gas bottles, torches, knives, all of that sort of stuff, you know, pegs and ropes and all that sort of thing there, and of course all the 12 volt gear in the back there, and then ridiculous overkill power in the back there. So gas less is how I camp now, as far as I just use 12 volt, which with the solar panel on the roof, as well as some others. When I have the rooftop tent, there's another two 100 watts on there, and then deployable, so I have 700 watts of solar, which is more than enough to pump those back up, you know, induction cooking, all of that overkill stuff. Of course you don't need that, but you know, fun and games. So STORMOD takes care of all that sort of consistent storage. Still leaves me with a ton of space here to put all of the above in there and keep everything out of the weather and out of the dust. If you want to sort of see what that looks like, I can recommend probably the Cape Trip videos that you can see on the channel. I go through that in a whole bunch of detail, as well as a full vlog going up and down. If you haven't seen those, go and check them out. They're a heap of work. Hopefully get you excited to go and do a big trip like that yourself. One of them is packing this and how that looks. So you can see just how much gear we can get in here, even with STORMOD still in place. So the other thing I really wanted to get in here that I never forget is a table, and I didn't want one of those little tables. I wanted something up out of the way, and that's what this is. So I managed to find a full stainless steel table that lives up the top here, has its own cradle and some brackets there. And then how this works, I'll make sure I find this and link in the description, is you just hit the little handle here, that pops down, and then this pops out just like that, and you can pull that all the way out. Gas strut table and full stainless steel there. So it comes out to be quite a nice size table that then you can easily store back away, clip it back up the top there, and it locks it up out of the way. How cool is that? I'm a massive fan of that. That's only probably a couple of months, but I think it's pretty awesome in the fact you don't really lose any height. It's kind of dead space up there anyway, and you've always got a table. So I've been a big fan of that. If we get on to Onboard Air and Water, I do have in the back here, if you've watched the big STORMOD videos on the channel, once again, I'll link all of this in the description down below. In behind here in particular, there is a TJM Pro compressor. It is loud as all hell, but it exhausts straight out the side here and does wonders pumping up tyres and all the above, of course. And then I've just gone and got a retractor hose. So that's all connected inside. I think this is a 9-metre hose, 10-metre hose, something like that. But it's more than enough to go all the way around the car and trailer if need be. And then if you get it at the right angle, it should just retract back in there as well. Keeps it all nice out of the way. So that works really well. All toggled straight off STORMOD. So pretty easy. I can just whack that when I want to pump the tyres back up. Now, as far as water goes, separate switch here. You can hear the pump just go there. I don't have any water in the tanks at the moment. You can check that full install video out on the channel again. I'll link it down below. But basically underneath here, we have a 40-litre tank just there. And then up there, a 30-litre tank. So we have 70 litres of water that sits underneath the tub. The pump sits up under the wing, just up here. These are what those little bolts are there actually. It keeps it up out of the way. I've waterproofed the pump as well. And then this is our, oh, we had a little bit of water in there. That's our outlet there. So the idea is you can turn your pump on, pressurizes the water in STORMOD here. If I can get in there and show you, hopefully. I have my little curly hose, here it is. So the idea is I just pull that out. That comes over here, connects up like that. We turn it on. I normally just hook it up straight up the top there like that. Turn the pump on, and then I've got pressurized water coming straight out. It's a 12-litre a minute, so I've got plenty of pressure, and it's perfect for, you know, cooking when you're cooking on the table here, you know, hosing your feet down, all of that sort of stuff. So that takes care of my water. 70 litres is installed underneath, and I've got it sort of on a two-way valve, so when I'm not going on a big trip, I can just fill the 30, leave the 40, vice versa. So I've got a little bit of redundancy there. Works really well. And then one of the advantages of the steel canopy is the fact that it's steel, so it's got lots of little bolts all the way around. So I've been able to P-clamp all of the cabling through the conduit and that sort of stuff. So it's like I bought one. It's nice and safe and secure and keeps everything nice and tidy, so it'll last the test of time. And then things like this, because I've got some brackets and some bolts there, it's easy to then attach some safety here as far as an extinguisher there on the side. Nice and easy to grab and get to when need be, hopefully never. The only probably other thing that I probably should mention is the dust proofing and the waterproofing. The canopy itself is really good, but sealing this to the tub has been pretty critical, and I've been working through that. But we're in a good spot now. That's involved some black sticker. If you do own a D-Max, you'll know that it's not sealed along the front tub. Definitely recommend getting some black sticker and sealing along there. Make sure you've got your seals in there. I'm waiting on a replacement there, hence the waterproof tape. But then also up under here, all the way along, and then also up under here, you've got some holes there. That is worth noting because a lot of dust will come in there. It basically sits up underneath your guard under here and will come up and into your tub. You've got that on all four corners. You can even see over there, that's where I've got some of my cabling going up and under, and then similarly across the back there as well. So that's worth noting. If you're really pedantic about keeping all the dust out, it's worth sealing that up. I've found though, with the seals on the back here, that's been the biggest part where dust has sort of got in, is as you're driving along super dusty road, it sort of sucks it back in, and you'll see on that Cape trip video where I unpack, just the amount of dust, it sort of stops right there. But this whole back section here for about, you know, the first 200 mil was red dust central. So well worth checking that out. But there we go, that is the full overview. That's about all she wrote. Let me know what you reckon. Let me know if you've got any tips or pointers for me. I'm open, I'm all ears. Put them in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. If you've got any other questions about the setup that I've been rolling so far, also just chuck them in the comments down below. I lurk there frequently, so I'll make sure I get in there and answer any questions that you have. Of course, any details around STORMOD, stormod.com.au, everything else, I'll try and make sure that I link in the video description as well, in case you need any other detail or want to check those bits and bobs out. As far as what's next, The D-Max, of course, isn't static. There's always going to be changes, and that includes the setup here. I've been rolling this for 1.5 years, like I said at the start of the video, with the canopy, etc. I think we might look for a change. Keen to see what that looks like. There is some new generations of this canopy out. This is generation 2. I think they're up to like generation 4, so maybe check that out. I am liking the tub. STORMOD's awesome, so I'm kind of keen to keep that. I don't know. Of course, there's the full canopy option there as well. I don't know. Let me know, what would you do if you were looking to change this, or even if you need to change it all? I don't know. I'm on the fence. Let me know what you reckon. Help me decide in the comments down below. But other than that, guys, that is the full overview review, I guess you'd call it, probably more overview of everything that I've had going on in the back of the D-Max, and sort of the build to date as far as the back of the D-Max. So once again, thanks so much for watching. As always, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.